Let me ask you this. Do you want to discover the secrets that went into a $1.8 million crowdfunding campaign? If you do, you're definitely going to want to listen to today's podcast episode. We brought on an individual entrepreneur and the founder of a Kickstarter campaign that raised, again, over $1.8 million from more than 5,000 backers for an incredible product and campaign. This is something we're going to be getting into in just a little bit, but I think that with this episode, not only does it set this idea of expectations of what you can do, of thinking big, of dreaming big when it comes to your specific product or the brand which you're trying to build, or this new idea which you're trying to bring into the world. It shows that anyone can do this with some hustle, with some hard work, with some discipline, by doing this process ethically and really working to build a strong relationship with your customer base and delivering something that absolutely delights. This is possible. And even if you only raise a fraction of what today's guest is, not only is it going to ignite a fire underneath your cause or what you're actually trying to do or the impact you're trying to make, but it's going to give you that funding to plow forward to the next stage. So I talk about this all the time on this podcast. And again, this is the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. My name is Salvador Briggman, and I am the host of this podcast. I started this show back in 2015, and it was really designed because I was talking about this so much behind the scenes. I was talking about all the different techniques and resources and things that people were using to raise 6 and 7 figures with crowdfunding. And guess what? No one believed me, man. People thought I was crazy, right? People thought I was literally off my rocker when I was talking about this stuff. So I made it my mission to bring high quality education to this industry. And I think that part of education is putting out blog posts like I do on my blog, crowdcrux.com. I think part of that is putting out YouTube videos like I do on my YouTube channel, right? You can search my name, Salvador Briggman, and you'll come up to that. I think that some of that as well. Courses, I'm going to mention a free course as well in just a second. But to me, the number one thing that's holding most people back is just understanding what other people are doing right? And being able to model that, being able to not copy it, but draw inspiration from their strategy, their techniques, and their approaches. And that's why I love to have on real world entrepreneurs and podcast guests that are in the action right now every single week, raising funding. So whether you're listening to this podcast on the way to work, in the car, if you're listening to this, you're doing some workout or something like that, you are showing up right now. And I really appreciate that. I think that being able to show up for yourself is one of the hardest things when it comes to studying a new craft. And that's really what you're doing. You're studying the inner workings and the mechanics of crowdfunding. So to help you with that, I did put together a free course today, which actually focuses on a pillar of crowdfunding that's not talked about too much, but in my opinion has been contributing a heck of a lot to success with recent campaigns. And that pillar is PR and influencers. If you've ever been wondering, like, Sal, can you please demystify this whole PR thing for me? Could you help me understand how to rack up media mentions, how to get your story to spread like wildfire? How do you get journalists to start writing about you and start covering you in different news outlets and as well with influencers? I got a great free course for you. All you got to do is put in your name and email, and you will start getting some lessons from me on a weekly basis, warming you up to exactly what you got to do if you want to get in the media. So if that sounds cool to you, go and check out this link at crowdcrux.com/PR. That link is crowdcrux.com/PR. Again, crowdcrux.com/PR. And you will be taken there. That being said, let's dive into today's podcast episode and get into how this creator was able to raise over $1 million with their crowdfunding campaign. And it's coming up right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Today we are speaking with a mega successful creator who's attracted over 1.8 million for their crowdfunding campaign, more than 5,000 backers for NEWTRAL MagicH, the ultra adaptive support home office chair. And we're lucky enough to have a member of the team here today. Stan, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. Thank you.
How you doing, man? Thank you so much for coming to the podcast here. Maybe you could start by just letting the listeners know more about the product. Who is it for? And just kind of start there.
This product is designed for people who, especially in home office.
Got it. For the home office. And from what I understand, there are also some great benefits for people as well. Maybe you could just touch on one or two of those.
Yes. especially for people have the lower back pain. Normally, if a person sitting for too long time, it's easy to get the back pain, neck pain, especially if a chair doesn't have enough support from the chair backrest.
I hear you. That's definitely something that plagues me every day looking at the computer.
Yes.
Needing that support.
That's for many people. Actually, I got a very serious lower back pain before. Got some injury when I did the loading and unloading in almost 10 years ago.
Oh, geez. That's hard. That sucks. Out of curiosity, what is your role in the company, or what's your role with the campaign?
For the company, like a product manager, and also as a how to say, I majored in the economic industry for more than 10 years. So know pretty much about the economics. I did the product developing, all past 10 years.
Got it.
So also I run a team, including a team in designing, engineering, put everything together.
Very cool. And did the founder, decide to hire you to help making the product, or did they hire you as a part of the company, or are you part of the founding team, or what's the relationship there?
Actually, I'm the founder of this company.
Look at that, man. That's exciting.
Thank you.
So you founded this company. When did you really start the company itself?
I started more than 10 years ago.
Got it. Cool. So you started this company 10 years ago. It sounds like you have a lot of experience in the ergonomic industry. What were you doing before you started this company?
Before I started this company, I spent a few years. I got my master's degree in San Diego State University. After it, I got the carpal tunnel syndrome. So when I used the computer mouse, I got a very strong pain from the carpal tunnel syndrome. So when first time I got the pain from my right hand, then I started to use the computer mouse with my left hand. After a few months, I got the pain, strong pain from left hand, my left hand. So I spent about 2 years to work in warehouse to leave the office. So I get the relief from the computer mouse, but I got an injury from when I did the loading and unloading for a full box of books. The books box is very heavy. So I got an injury after the lower back. So I think about it, do something. I have to come back from the labor job to the office. So I did a lot of research about the computer mouse and the carpal tunnel syndrome. So I designed a ergonomic computer mouse about more than 10 years
Very
ago.
Cool.
And also we got the Red Dot design reward from Red Dot.
So yeah, I mean, you obviously have been doing this for quite some time. Why build your own company instead of just go and work for like another company? Why'd you decide to start your own?
The problem, like many people, when you have some idea, when you have some design, you think your design or your invent or something can help many people, but nobody trusts it. You say, oh man, I have an idea. I have a good design. Something can help people. You can make money. Blah 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 blah. Just nobody trusts it. So if nobody can start it, can trust it, why not do it by myself?
And when you were building that or getting started, I imagine that's a huge risk, right? To really leap out and do something on your own.
You're right.
What did it feel like at that point in time, really making the leap?
And the first 5 years is almost like a hell. Every day you have to spend money, but a very, very little income from the first 5 years. There is lots of for the designing, developing, and the molding. Even you go to the show. We went to the Ego Expo in Las Vegas from 2011 to 2017, straight 7 years. Also, it's lots of money spending, but finally, you got something. The market, the economic channel. Oh, your economic mouth is interesting and it can help some people, and more and more people love it. Then we start to have some income growing, and we got the Google brand, Gold Touch, come to work with us in USA, So we got more income, and we can spend more money for the product developing and designing. Actually, we spent more than 5 years on the economic chair.
At what point in time did you think about doing a campaign on Kickstarter? When did that discussion enter the conversation?
You mean the crowdfunding of the chair?
Yes.
Actually, the first time is almost 3 years ago. We did the first crowdfunding on Indiegogo.
Exciting. So you had experienced first Indiegogo, and then you decided to go to Kickstarter.
Yes, the first time about 2 years ago, we raised about $700,000 US for our first NEWTRAL chair.
And in launching that, why go to crowdfunding in the first place? Like, what actually prompted you to decide to unveil your product that way?
I think the first way, we needed to know the market, how people think it about. In the end, we have to go to the different channels. For us, we get to the Ego channel, online channels, and offline stores. But if the market, the people don't like it, so they doesn't make sense, have to push it, and the marketing, spend a lot of money on the sales.
To get feedback.
Yes. So I think most important to get the feedback from the end users.
So you were successful with your first campaign, right? And then you launched your second. You've been wildly successful like that. What does it feel like before you go live with one of these campaigns? How do you feel the night before you go live?
Actually, for us, I think it's just a natural. We know, the first campaign, what about our product, and what the end user, what are the customer, the backers, what are they looking for. We tried our best, to see what are the feedback from our backers. So we improved and get lots of suggestions and the feedbacks from them. And we make lots of improvements for the second one. So we actually, basically from the beginning, we know many backers, many people will love it. So you were excited. I'm sure you were looking forward to the launch. So you go live. You were able to surpass your previous campaign. What did it feel like to be able to wake up and say, like, wow, look at this. We've been able to get 5,000 plus people, backing this thing. Yes, really exciting. I check every day. More than another 100 people coming in. For me, of course, exciting. But lots of things in my mind. I just think, I love those backers, and probably a few months later, or maybe next year, I will have another very, very, very good product come back. I will make them surprise again. Every time I hope I can bring some surprise to those customer backers. That's most after the exciting. Those minds come to my mind.
If you're worried about the fulfillment and shipping part of your Kickstarter campaign when it comes to getting out all those perks and rewards to your backers, rest assured, I've put together a complete Kickstarter fulfillment and shipping checklist for you, and it's free. This is sponsored by the folks at Fulfillrite, and they thought that you should have this checklist as part of your arsenal going into a crowdfunding campaign. If you want to get instant access to this checklist, and it's free, you can go to fulfillrite.com/checklist. Again,
That is FULFILLRITE.com/checklist, fulfillrite.com/checklist. Just go to that link and you can download it immediately.
If you were looking at this campaign, I mean, you've been great in building an incredible product, and you have a great team. Do you have any advice for people who are looking to launch campaigns like this? Any kind of takeaways or tips or things that you feel like you learned that you would want to pass on to someone else?
I think from a personal experience, I think I have a little bit to share with other companies or persons. I think the most important, your product have to be, it's the product is from not from your designing. Actually, it's from the market. You need to keep it in mind. What are those potential backers? What do they need? What are they something that don't meet their expectation? You need to do lots of research of your competitor. What's the product that people don't like? What's something people really like? I think it's really, really important to get something really make people interesting, something novelty, different, and people can get the value. I think most important. Another one, I think, most important, probably maybe you need some partners to help you. I'm pretty sure the product, I can make a very, very good product, but actually I'm not strong how to make the crowdfunding. Actually, I have no idea. So we have a partner, have an agent, to help us to make it happen and also make it. Actually, we learned a lot, for the first campaign, we really have something really not good, In the end, after 1 year, about 1 year later, we found more than 300 backers didn't receive our product.
Yeah.
So we spend lots of money, But the first time the agent, they don't care about it. They say it's kind of normal, and always some people cannot receive it. But for us, it's a big problem, Some backers, I trust your brand, I trust your NEWTRAL. But after 1 year or something, I didn't get it. I got nothing. So it's really tough. There's a real tough time. We have no idea who didn't get the share. So every time some people come in, we will refund it. Every time come in, we refund it. We not just refund the original amount. We will refund another extra $25 to make up for the probably the wire transfer fee. And if anything left, we just we say it's a cup of coffee to say sorry, you didn't receive the product. So it's really tough for the first 2 months. But after it, I think we see more and more happy backers. And also many backers come back again to help us. So we feel very, very happy.
So basically making sure you get a product, getting feedback on that product, developing something people want, and then step 2, making sure you have the right partners, the people that you're working with, right, in order to enable your success would be step 2. What do you think about marketing? Because I do think that, my friend, like, you have a great marketing campaign that you've put together here, some really cool videos. You got people on YouTube that are posting. What are your thoughts on the marketing of this in terms of getting people's attention, getting them taking action?
Actually, I think it's looks like the marketing. Actually, for us, is still from the product. We have the economist, like Iris Sokol. She made a wonderful video for us, and we have the Dr. Kevin, made a really great video for us. We recommend our NEWTRAL chair. I think, actually we didn't pay anything. Normally we pay some money for people to make a video. We pay nothing. They really love the product. They think this product can help many people. And even, for the Dr. Kevin, he recommended our chair to all their patients. It's not just recommend our chair to his patients. He also recommend our chairs to other, clinics for chiropractors. So it's the product make them love it and recommend it and make the free video for us. Sometimes we feel so excited. Oh, gorgeous! A doctor will make a video for us. And just send a sample, and also he will, recommend it to their patients and even other clinics. It's really, we feel unbelievable, so exciting. It's more than sell like 1,000 shares or something. It's really we just can't believe it, and so happy. I think most of them is from the product itself. The doctor, they think your chair can help other people.
Do you feel like that in doing this and looking at other campaigns that there are any mistakes that people commonly make that you feel like had they been not able to make that, or could they, if they plowed through that, they would be more successful? Do you feel like there are common mistakes that people should be aware of in launching these campaigns?
I think at least from my experience, have these two things. The first thing many people made a mistake is they like the product. They like their own product. It's just like everybody love his son, right? But, you love it by yourself is really not enough. You have to be like other people can make the value, other people love it. I think it's the most important. Another one, as I said before, some people just make the marketing everything by themselves. I think it's a good thing, have some partners. Like there is many companies, they can help you for the marketing. They know how to
position
it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things are professional. I have no idea, but there is many people on company. If you have good product, they can help you to go together. I think it's make the thing easier, much easier. You don't need to do everything by yourself.
Got it. Yeah. So I think those are some really great points. In thinking about your project, you've been able to go from studying this to inventing technology over the last 10 years, growing a company, right? Launching these two campaigns. What's been the most rewarding part of this process for you?
Sometimes there is two parts. One part is when some customers and users, after they receive their product, receive the NEWTRAL, they will give you lots of feedback. There is one engineer in USA. He was a senior engineer in a equipment company. He sent me a very long letter to see, the parts I really love, some parts you can improve, and some, sometimes give me suggestions and make a big drawings, and even give you everything, how to improve it. For example, there is a how to lift the chair for extra 1 to 2 inches. He did a lot for us. Unbelievable, just unbelievable. Sometimes, you hire worker, maybe it takes 1 week or 2 weeks or something. He just help you. We're not, don't expect anything, because he loves your chair. He think you can make a better chair with his suggestion. That time, it's really reward. You feel so happy. Many people are pushing you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And also, some is the first part. Many people can help you. Another way is, some like fans, they love your product so much. They just, I love, love the product. And some backers, they back you for the first time, then see your the second project, they come back and back again. Or so sometimes you feel so enjoyable, There's sometimes some customers, they love you from their heart, they support you again and again. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, I can't explain it by words. Just everything is worth, you spend more than 10 years to develop all different kind of economic product. Mm-hmm. Especially for the first 5 years, lots of difficulty, lots of sometimes very hard to get through. But in the end, you feel, it's really worth the 10 years they insist in keep going,
So cool. And I do think it shows that your hard work has paid off. And I'm sure that everyone on your team is really ecstatic, right, with what you've been able to do here.
Yes.
Just to be clear, people can go to NEWTRALchair.com, right? They can go check that out there. And then they can look it up on Kickstarter, NEWTRAL, NEWTRAL, and that should bring up your campaign. And my final question is, and we can end on this note, you could either share a quote that you like, you could share a final bit of advice or tip about business, or you could give people a word of encouragement when it comes to them starting their new products, their new businesses, anything like that. We can end on that note.
I think if you have something, some product or something you don't satisfy, I think you can go on it. But there is no guarantee, But if you keep going, you find some answer. You try to improve it. Sometimes, you can get some rewards. You can get something you didn't expect.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. And good luck with your future launches.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Now, launching a campaign in the even ballpark of what this guest was able to do, to me, for many beginning creators, almost goes beyond the realm of possibility. But sometimes you almost put a glass ceiling on what you're capable of. And sometimes you need to actually dream big. You need to become more success-oriented. You need to say yes to opportunities as they show up in your life. And the question is, what is the big picture? It's so much easier to have success when you go for a really big swing, when you're really trying to actually not only, do a small campaign or maybe hit something small or just do a couple of funding. It can maybe be nice for the ego, but if you're willing to step outside your comfort zone, put in all the hard work, do all the studying and the research that's required to actually launch a campaign, why not go big? Chances are you're capable of much more than you ever imagined possible. So why not really set your sights high when it comes to that? I think also another big lesson that I would say from today's podcast guest is just the being willing to commit to something. And this is something that is so challenging, not only for myself, but for so many of the other entrepreneurs I've had on this show who actually do seek success. But we all go through problems occasionally of just committing to something, making a decision, taking control, showing up, being prepared, right? These kinds of lessons are really tried and true traits, habits, mindsets of every guest that we've had on this podcast. And in order to see the fruits of your labor really come to fruition, sometimes you got to be willing to put out an idea, think about it, work on it, even for a year before you actually come up with this. And if you're willing to actually, again, go through the struggle, and struggle is part of life, it's how we learn. If you're willing to embrace that, to face your fears, my gosh, the future is bright. The future is extremely, satisfying, and something that you can actually do much bigger than you ever imagined possible. But it takes that resilience. So I hope that you also took away some good lessons from today's podcast episode. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, whether you're listening to this on iTunes, you're listening to this via YouTube, give me a thumbs up there. If you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a positive rating and review. That says just incredibly nice things, and I really appreciate it when people are willing to do that. In addition, if you feel like you you would like some help, some guidance when it comes to executing this higher purpose, right? Doing something good in the world, ethically dominating your niche market, building a brand from scratch, building something that's epic, that stands the test of time, and it allows you to build a whole new career or a whole new vertical in maybe an industry which you haven't really set foot in yet. If that's something that you want to do, you have a big dream, you're willing to educate yourself. One of the other things that to me, a lot of other guests have in common is they're willing to surround themselves with the right people. And I've tried to make that as free and useful as possible with my podcast, with my communities online, my Facebook group, etc. We have more than 10,000 members. We got kickstarterforum.org, etc. But one of the ways I also do that is through my individual one-on-one intensive coaching calls. So if this is something where, and there's nothing to be ashamed of when it comes to this, but you really want to supercharge this. You want to get the best people on your side. You want to build a rock star team that's going to enable your success and knows who you are. This is a great opportunity to book an individual one-on-one coaching call with me. Not only do we go through your entire strategy, tactics, step-by-step of what you got to do to be successful and how to implement that, but I also get tons of questions all the time from different creators that are like, Sal, is this even the right platform? Should I even be doing this? Is my product going to make it or not? Draw from this library of information you have in your head and tell me, is this something that's even worth my time, right? So we talk about so many different types of products and campaigns, whether that's a physical product, a technology gadget or gizmo, a board game, a card game, someone who's a startup trying to raise investment capital as well. I cover a lot of territory in the crowdfunding industry. And if you really want to tap into that in a one powerful individual coaching session, you can go and check out this link. Write this down if you're listening to this podcast, or remember this if you're driving. Please don't try to write this down if you're on the road, right? Concentrate on your driving. But remember this link at crowdcrux.com/coaching. That link is crowdcrux.com/coaching, crowdcrux.com/coaching. Go there. Tell me a little bit about what you're trying to do. Tell me more about your vision. Tell me more about what it is, the impact that you want to make, and really what you're trying to, at the end of the day, execute in order to get this sucker off the ground, to get this out of your head, and to actually have it be something that's in the real world that's impacting other people. And that's the only way we're ever going to be able to really do good in the world, if we can actually make good on our promises and on our ideas. So I hope that you enjoyed today's podcast episode, that you liked it. We did have some audio issues behind the scenes, so thank you for bearing with us as we went through that. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Salvador Briggman, and I will see you next time.